Pokemon Go just dropped their content update for the new season Forever Forward, as well as all the content happening for the month of June. Let's get straight into our calendar now, and we're going to kick off with our 5-star raids happening in June. First up, we have Reshiram returning to raids, which is incredible, happening from the 3rd of June until the 9th. This Pokemon's 100% IV is going to be 2307, but the weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 2884, and that's going to be in sunny and windy weather because of the fire and dragon typing. It's going to come with a 1 in 20 shiny rate, and your Reshiram's base stats are actually incredible. It has a max CP of 4565, attack of 275, and some pretty solid defensive and HP stats. Why this Pokemon is definitely worth rating is that as a fire type attacker, it's in the 6th spot right now, but you are going to need Fusion Flare on this Pokemon, which does require an elite charge TM. Very important to have that move on Reshiram. As a dragon type attacker, it's currently the 30th best in the game right now because it only has access to Draco Meteor, which is just a very slow but very hard hitting charge move. Even Reshiram in the Master League right now is currently hovering around the 9th spot. That's with Fusion Flare, and it does have Dragon Breath as a fast move. Reshiram is one of the best Pokemon Go and has been for some time. Brilliant fire type attacker. And then coming in from the 10th until the 16th, we have Zekrom, the dragon and electric type Pokemon. The 100% IVs here are going to be 2307 and non-weather boosted weather, but the weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 2884, and that's going to be in windy and rainy weather because of that dragon and electric typing. But how good is Zekrom in Pokemon Go right now? Well, again, its base stats are very solid. It shares the exact same stats as Reshiram, but with that base attack being 275. So how that translates is that as a dragon type attacker, it's a little bit better than Reshiram with Outrage in the 29th spot, but as an electric type attacker, it's in the 10th spot right now, but you are going to need Fusion Bolts on this Pokemon. Very similar to Fusion Flare on Reshiram, you are going to need an elite charge TM to get Fusion Bolts on this Pokemon. Back to our calendar again, our next 5-star raid boss from June the 17th until June the 23rd is going to be Necrozma making its return. It's very important to mention now that Necrozma is not going to be coming with Fusion Energy. But the reason why these raids are important is that you really want to get that 100% IV, because remember, the fusions of Duskmane Necrozma as well as Dawn Wings Necrozma are some of the best Ghost and Steel type attackers in the entire game, but the stats as well as the shiny form is taken from the Necrozma. So the Hundo CP stats for Necrozma are going to be 2104 and non-weather boosted weather, but the weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 2630, and that's going to be in windy weather only because of its pure psychic typing, and that is going to come with a 1 in 20 shiny rate as well. Very important Pokemon to raid. And then for the last week of the month, from the 24th until the 30th, we are going to see the return of Celesteela and Kartana respectively in the northern and southern hemisphere. Celesteela is going to be spawning in the southern hemisphere. That 100% IV is going to be 1772, but the weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 2216, and then Kartana is going to be found in the northern hemisphere only. That Hundo CP is going to be 2101, the weather boosted CP is going to be 2626, and that's going to be in snowy as well as sunny weather because of its grass and steel typing. It's Kartana, the one we really want to go after. It's currently the 2nd best grass type attacker in the game with an incredibly high attack stat, and that shiny is pretty sick as well. Make sure to still raid Kartana, it's still a really good grass type attacker. But let's get back to the beginning of June again. From the 3rd until the 9th, we have our opening mega, which is going to be Mega Audino. That Hundo CP is going to be 961, and the weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 1201, and that's going to be in cloudy and partly cloudy weather because of that fairy and normal typing. Unfortunately, Mega Audino doesn't have great base stats. If we have a look at that attack set, it's just far too low to be a good raid attacker, so I would strongly recommend just getting this Mega Pokemon to Mega level 3 so you can accumulate the candy, but specifically the XL candy for normal and fairy types whenever those types of event come around. Mega Audino will be leaving us on the 9th, but then coming in on the 10th, we are going to see Mega Lopunny. If we have a look in the fighting type category, Mega Lopunny is still breaking into the top 30, so if you are a new or returning player, this could be a really good place to start. Mega Lopunny will be leaving us, but then coming in on the 17th, we are going to see the return of Mega Scizor, which again, that Hundo CP is going to be 1714, and the weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 2143. But how good is Mega Scizor right now? Well, again, its base stats are actually pretty solid. It has a max CP of 4621, an attack value of 279, which is solid for a Mega. But as a bug type attacker right now, it's currently the 3rd best in the game because of that steel typing. It does resist a lot of types, so it's a really good bug type attacker. And even as a steel type attacker, it's currently the 24th in the game right now. So Mega Scizor is still a very viable option, again, especially if you are a new or returning player. And the last Mega for the month is going to be Mega Pidgeot making its return from the 24th until the 30th. That Hundo CP is going to be 1216 in non-weather boosted weather, but the 100% IV in weather boosted weather is going to be 1521, and that's going to be in partly cloudy and windy weather because of the normal and fairy legendary typing. This is also going to come with a 1 in 128 shiny rate. Mega Pidgeot still boasts some pretty decent stats. Its max CP is still over 4,000. Its attack value is 280, which again is going to do some work for us. But as a flying type attacker, still it is breaking into the top 10 with Gust, which will require an elite fast TM as well as Brave Bird. This is going to make this Pokemon hit pretty hard, breaking into the top 10 category. Mega Pidgeot still a great Pokemon to get to Mega level 3. Those are the Mega Raids out of the way, but what is going to be our 5-star new Shadow Raid boss? And I'm so glad to say and happy to announce that Shadow Dialga is going to be coming in for the whole month of June. It is still a really good Pokemon, Shadow Dialga, boasting a Dragon and Steel typing. As a non-Mega, this Pokemon has some incredible stats. That is a max CP of 4565, but that attack value is sitting at 275, which is brilliant because as a Shadow, if you guys didn't know, that attack value gets increased by 20%, but the defense, and this is the trade-off, gets decreased by 20%. So that attack value is going to have another 20% on top of it, which pretty much translates this Pokemon to be the 7th best Steel type attacker in the game, with Metal Claw and Iron Head, and with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor, it's breaking into the top 12 as of talking right now. This is probably the best Shadow Raid boss we've seen in some time. Really good time to go after this, and you can also get candy as well as XL candy for the origin form of Dialga, which will be coming during GoFest raids. Even in the Master League right now, Shadow Dialga is breaking into the top 40, which is an incredible feat for this Pokemon. Really has a lot of utility across the board. Just quickly on Kartana in the Master League, it's also breaking into the top 80 right now, currently sitting in the 75th spot. A really good Pokemon again to try and power up, especially if you get that hundo. Those are going to be your raids for this month, but before I go any further, please would you guys subscribe to this channel. We've seen that only about 25 to 30% of our viewers are actually subscribed to the channel, so please would you hit that sub button. We're on the way to try and get 20k by the end of June, and we're only going to do that with your help. Smash that subscribe button. It's down here somewhere. Finally, we can talk about our new research breakthrough box, which is going to be happening in the month of June. This takes place after you get your 7th day stamp by completing field research tasks every day. Once you complete that, you will get an encounter with reward Pokemon, and these Pokemon will be featured for the whole season. We can see Dragonite in there. That hundo CP is going to be 1625. Axew makes its return in there at 586 CP for the hundo. Honedge does return from last season at 595. Jangmo-O makes a pop-up at 415 CP. We are going to see the male and female forms of Indeedee, and their hundo CPs is 1027 and 1047 respectively. And last but not least, we can see Cloth in there, which is not going to be coming with it shiny, and that hundo CP is going to be 1030 CP. Just to remind you guys about the raid hours that are going to be happening for the month of June, please remember that on June the 3rd, that's going to be Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. local time, every Wednesday throughout the month, Reshiram will be in the raid hour. On the 10th from 6 to 7, that's going to be Zekrom. On the 17th, that raid hour is going to be featuring Necrozma. On the 24th, it's going to be featuring both Kartana in the Northern Hemisphere and Celesteela in the Southern Hemisphere. Back to our calendar again, and what we're going to talk about now is going to be the Max Mondays for the whole month of June, and there's some good ones in here. Max Mondays take place every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. local time, and for each week, these Pokemon are going to be more heavily featured. But your first Max Monday on the 1st of June is going to be D-Max Inkay, which of course can go into D-Max Malamar. Unfortunately, D-Max Malamar, as much as it does have 2 Psychic type half-a-second fast moves, which are very good from a tanking point of view, it just doesn't have the greatest stats, and unfortunately it is getting outclassed by something like D-Max Metagross, D-Max Espeon, and a few others as well, so this is probably more of a dex filler. But then the next week, on Tuesday the 8th, we have the debut of Dynamax Electabuzz. Now don't forget, Electabuzz can evolve into D-Max Electivire, and let me just say that D-Max Electivire's base attack stat is actually higher than D-Max Raichu, which is a legendary Pokemon, and it's only 2 points lower than something like D-Max Zapdos. So to be honest, as a D-Max attacker, especially as a budget option, this is probably going to be the best in the game from a budget point of view. Very important to play this D-Max Monday. Also, the incredible thing about Electivire is that both of its fast moves are half-a-second fast moves, of which one is Thunder Shock and the other one is going to be Low Kick, a fighting type half-a-second fast move, which means it's going to charge the Dynamax meter a lot quicker. To be honest, this Pokemon is definitely going to jump up your max attacker rankings, one you don't want to miss. Next up on the 15th, your Max Monday is going to be D-Max Roggenrola, which of course can go into D-Max Gigalith. D-Max Gigalith, if you weren't aware, is probably your best rock type attacking max attacker in the game right now, and the reason why is because there is no G-Max rock type Pokemon in the game. Gigalith's base attack stat is so good, and it also has really good fast moves as well, so you can use this Pokemon as a really good attacker, but you can also use it almost like a hybrid tank stroke attacker as well, because it has really solid defensive stats too. A really good Max Monday that you don't want to miss. On the 22nd, our next Max Monday is going to be featuring Hootoots, which of course can go into DMAX Noctile. I've had a look and unfortunately Noctile's base stats are just not high enough. Its HP stat is actually sitting at 225, so from a tanking point of view, there could be certain scenarios maybe against a ground type Pokemon or a ghost type Pokemon because it double resists both those types where it could be a decent tank, but overall I think Noctile is going to be one of your lowest priority. And last but not least, we have Pidove in there on the 29th, and of course Pidove can go into DMAX Unpheasant, and to be honest, its attacking stat is pretty solid, but over time it just has been outclassed because there are other better flying type max attackers in the game, but as a starting point, DMAX Unpheasant is not the worst option. Before we get into the month of June, let's just run through some seasonal highlights that are going to be appearing this season. We cannot look past GoFest Global, which is going to be taking place on the 11th and 12th of July. Remember, this is going to be the first global opportunity to get Mega Mewtwo X and Y, including all its Mega Energy, because now they will be split, just like it will be for Mega Charizard X and Y as well. Zeraora will be making its Pokemon GO debut in Special Research. We also know that a little bit later in the season, Mega Raichu X and Y will also be making its Pokemon GO debut, which is sick. Mega Raichu Y is going to be one of the best electric type attackers in the game, so definitely worth going after. When it comes to the daily discoveries though, if you guys weren't aware, these were daily bonuses that kind of replaced Spotlight Hours, which was very disappointing, and they pretty much had bonuses every day, and they have altered slightly. So the changes are going to be as follows. On Sunday, it used to be Double Time Sunday, where your incenses and lure modules will last for double the time, but it looks like now it's going to be more focused on routes, and it's going to be called Scenic Sunday, where more Pokemon will appear where following a route, and incenses are going to attract more Pokemon on routes. There's going to be reduced buddy distance to earn buddy hearts while exploring routes, and we can also encounter Mateo up to 3 times on that day to of course get 3 different 7-kilometer eggs from him when receiving a gift. And of course, don't forget, whether you do routes on that Sunday or any other day of the week, you can still collect those Zygarde cells. On Mondays, Fast Track Monday has now been removed. That would pretty much double your daily tasks points for your Go Pass. That is now going to be removed, and it looks like Max Mondays are still going to be a thing, as we've just explained a little while ago, but power spots will refresh more frequently. Additional power spots will be more active on Monday than any other days of the week, and max battles will also rotate more to feature more different Dynamax Pokemon. Showcase Tuesday is still going to be a thing, but they have made a small change here. We can feature up to 20 different categories, but it looks like they've increased your showcase entries from 3 until 5, so you can actually enter 5 of these showcases, which I think gives us a much better chance at chipping away at that Platinum Showcase medal, which requires you to win 100 showcases. Go Battle Thursdays are going to remain the same with 4-time Stardust rewards, and you can also feature up to 10 sets per day, which is 50 battles on this Thursday, which is incredible, not just from a Stardust point of view, but also from a reward Pokemon coming off that reward track. And it looks like, thank God they've kept this, Friendship Fridays will still be a thing where we can get 1 additional candy per trade. Trades are going to cost 10% less Stardust. We can make 1 extra special trade that day for a total of 2, but most importantly, all these trades on this day will have a higher chance of becoming lucky. You can do 100 trades in one day. Remember, a lucky Pokemon has a 1 in 64 chance of becoming a hundo. Remember to trade your Pokemon on these Fridays. We have another 3 months of this. We also know the community days have been announced for June, July, and August. We do know what the community day is on June the 20th, which we're about to cover. On July 4th, there will be a calm day. It looks like on August 16th, there is going to be a community vote between 4 different Pokemon to feature on this day. That is going to be Nickit, Yamper, Tadbulb, as well as Fido. This season of Forever Forward, there are going to be no seasonal bonuses, but there is going to be 1 long seasonal Go Pass, where at certain tiers, certain bonuses will unlock for us. So when it comes to the bonuses of the tiers and the ranks, at tier 1, which is going to be at rank 1, we can get 1 additional candy for trading Pokemon, so that's a regular candy, not XL candy. At tier 2, which is going to be rank 25, it looks like we can have an increased limit of opening gifts, but not just that, it looks like they've included Pokestops in there as well, so we may get more rewards from spinning Pokestops and gym discs. Tier 3, which is going to be rank 50, it's going to be 2 times Adventure Daily Incense, so we know for those Galarian birds, that is going to be the best way to try and attack that strategy. And a tier 4, which is going to be rank 75, we're going to get an increased XP as well as Stardust from hatching eggs. So we know that when it comes to 12-kilometer egg trick, you want to try and get to rank 75 as quick as possible, so you can hatch all these eggs on a star piece to get even more Stardust. Coupling with this bonus too, extremely powerful. We need to talk about the new seasonal eggs this season. We don't know the full pool. We will do this in our This Week episodes coming up every single Sunday, but it's important to mention that we know in 2-kilometer eggs, you will be able to hatch Execute, Corpfish, and Why Not. In 5-kilometer eggs, we can hatch Riolu, Mantike, and Flittle. The 5-kilometer adventuresing eggs are going to be hatching Tyrogue, Sableye, Budyu, and more. And 7-kilometer eggs, which we can only receive from friends in gifts, you can hatch Alolan Diglett, Galarian Corsola, Galarian Darumaka, and probably the rest of the Hisuian and Galarian forms. In 7-kilometer eggs from Mateo, we can hatch Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Sneasel, as well as White Stripe Basculin. Remember, White Stripe Basculin form is the only form that can evolve into Basculegion, which is a water and ghost type. They both have a male and female form, which will be coming to the game at some point, but it looks like we can also hatch all the other Hisuian forms in these Mateo 7-kilometer eggs as well. And then in base 10-kilometer adventuresing eggs, we can hatch Mawile, Absol, and Frigibax. And in the 10-kilometer adventuresing eggs, we can hatch Bagon, Dredagon, and Drampaw. We also have new Max Pokemon that will be making their debut. We just touched on Max Electabuzz, which will be coming, but D-Max Magikarp into Gyarados, as well as G-Max Feebase going into Melodic, will also be making their appearance later in the season. That's pretty exciting, especially with their shiny forms too. This might be one of the best parts of this video. What events are going down for the month of June? Well, we can already confirm that the first event of the month is going to be Spark's Caretaking Quest event, which is going to be taking place alongside GoFest Chicago's event, and that is going to be featuring Elekid with its special background, but wearing that Team Instinct accessory, which is incredible, one of the rarest costume shinies in the game. We've actually already done a full breakdown of this video, and trust me, there are very big tips in here that could completely change your GoFest prep, but also the events coming after GoFest. I'm going to leave it above me right now, and we'll definitely leave it as the end screen. Please check that out. Our next event from the 9th until the 15th is going to be Candela's Quest for Victory event, which is going to be featuring that accessory Ponyta, which is going to be Team Valor's Ponyta with a Team Valor background. That is going to be running alongside GoFest Copenhagen's in-person event. On the June the 20th though, even after these in-person GoFest events, we have the best community day probably of the year, which is going to be Frigibax Calm Day. Frigibax can go into Baxcalibur, which is actually one of the best ice-type attackers in the game right now, but it is going to get access to the move Glaive Rush, which is a very hard-hitting ice-type move, which is going to jump up Baxcalibur. But if you guys weren't aware, Baxcalibur has a Mega form, which is going to be Mega Baxcalibur, and to the research we've done with Glaive Rush, this is probably going to be in your top 2 ice-type attackers in the entire game. Huge calm day there for us. Then from the 23rd until the 29th, we are going to see the Flying Taxi event, which is going to be featuring probably a lot of flying type Pokemon. And right in the middle of that, it will be taken over by Team Rocket, where we can, of course, remove frustration. There will be new Shadow Pokemon, and team leaders will also have new Shadow Pokemon. And right in the middle of the taken over event, we have our last official event of June, which is going to be Mega SKARMORY Raid Day. All but confirmed, but I know it's definitely been data mined and it will be in the leaks. Mega SKARMORY is a steel and flying type attacker. It's definitely going to be one of your better flying type attackers in the game because it does have access to Brave Bird as well as Sky Attack. But on the steel side of things, because it only has access to Flash Cannon unless it gets a new move, it's probably going to be a little bit less of a good steel type attacker, but still a really stacked month in Pokemon Go, and that doesn't even include the in-person events. As we've just shown you, and we said this at the beginning of this video, June is stacked. It's looking a lot better than May. Really looking forward to it. If you guys want to see that first event of June, remember that's going to be the Team Instinct event with Elekid. Please check it out above me right here. Big hidden tips in there. But if you guys want to see everything going on in Pokemon Go this week and eventually going into next week, we will leave it as our top right as well. Love you guys so much. Please smash that like and subscribe button as well as that hype button so we can send this video as far as wide as possible. Really appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. We are eternally grateful. Let's have a lot of fun. The summer is going to be a banger. Love you. Go with us, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. Shh.